It's college football playoff or bust for the Bayou Bengals in year 3 of Brian Kelly. What is the most important game for the LSU Tigers in the 2024 season? Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. We're brought to you by our friends over at RHOBACK. Guys, go to RHOBACK.com. Use promo code SECU to get 20% off your first purchase. Again, guys, that's RHOBACK.com. Promo code SECU to get 20% off today. Year 3 of the Brian Kelly era in Baton Rouge approaches. And guys, as we all know, year 3, fairly or unfairly, is the year where folks look at your tenure and they identify, okay, what are you as a head coach, right? Most folks will tell you year 3 is when coaches boom or bust, if you will. And of course, as we all know, expectations are always high down in Baton Rouge, and certainly with a 12-team college football playoff, there's no denying it is college football playoff or bust for the LSU Tigers this season. And guys, as we look at the 2024 slate, what is the most important game for LSU this season? There's a number of them to choose from, right? You open SEC play at South Carolina. That one could be tricky, right? You've got Ole Miss coming to Baton Rouge. You're looking for redemption. You're looking for revenge in that one. Of course, guys, the game against Alabama is always self-explanatory. There's no more Nick Saban, and you get them at Death Valley as well. You got to go to Arkansas, right? You look later in the schedule. You close out the season with Oklahoma, which is going to be a fascinating ball game. So I think there's a number of directions you can go here. Now, the thing we have to keep in mind is this, guys, because for years, I think it was always very easy to look at LSU's schedule and say, well, that game against Alabama, that one is easily the most important. But you think about it now, that one's still massively important. Don't get me wrong. And especially with no more Nick Saban, I think everybody wants to prove, okay, we're ready to leap the hurdle that is Alabama football and show that it was more of a Nick Saban problem, not necessarily an Alabama problem. But you got to think we have no more divisions. And making the SEC championship game, guys, it is no longer the end-all, be-all. The goal is simply to get to 10 wins, right? Maybe 9-3 will get you in, but getting to 10, I think, solidifies you're going to be in that 12-team college football playoff. And LSU is a program that they should think this way, and they do think this way. LSU should be in the college football playoff every single year. I think that is the mindset in Baton Rouge, and I think that is a mindset that makes sense for that quality of program. So you have some wiggle room here. If you lose to Bama, you don't want it to happen, but it's not going to derail your season like in years past where you knew you essentially had to go almost undefeated to win the SEC West, have a shot in the SEC title game, and essentially have to win that to make the college football playoff, right? So I don't look at that as the most important game, guys, believe it or not. I don't look at Texas A&M. I don't look at Oklahoma. I think you can make a case for Ole Miss. I think that is one revenge factor. Ole Miss has all this hype and expectations. If you want to announce to the college football world, because right now, guys, doesn't it feel interesting? Like LSU is being looked at preseason top 15, but there's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of question marks. How quickly can Blake Baker fix the defense? What's the offense going to be like after losing a Heisman Trophy winner and 2 first-round wide receivers? Tons of question marks. There's tons of talent as well. That game against Ole Miss could serve as the game where you kick the door down, right? And essentially tell the college football world, hey, LSU's a real threat, not just to make the college football playoff, but win the whole damn thing as well. But guys, I went back and forth, but the game that I circled as the most important game for LSU, the game that to me is a must win if LSU is even going to have a shot at reaching their goals this season, it is that season opener out in Las Vegas against Southern Cal. And guys, let me explain on this one a little bit further. LSU fans, you're watching this. You know why this is the most important game. You know why. You know why. LSU has lost 4 straight season openers. They have not won a season opener, guys, since 2019. And so you hate to say after one game, and this won't be the case, right? If you lose to Southern Cal, your season's not over, but your shots of making the college football playoff dwindle exponentially. Because, guys, here's the way I look at it. Southern Cal is going to be a solid football team this year, right? But they have shown, number one, they don't play defense. No physicality whatsoever from the Trojans. Lincoln Riley, just defense is optional. Does not believe in it, right? And while they're still going to be tough offensively, right? It's a Lincoln Riley football team. They lose Caleb Williams. There's a lot of turnover. Arguably even more out of the West Coast and USC than there is with LSU. I think setting the tone, guys, especially on the defensive side, setting the tone from week one and showing, hey, it's not going to be like it was last year. We're not going to have this historically bad defense holding us back. Setting the tone offensively of, hey, while it may not be Jaden Daniels and we may not have a quarterback that's going to win the Heisman Trophy, we may not have Malik Neighbors, we may not have Brian Thomas Jr., there's still weapons on this offense. This is still going to be one of the better offenses in the SEC. While it may not be quite as good as last year, it's still going to be one of the best in college football. Setting that tone out the gate, guys, in a game that, again, you look at this game on paper, I think most will lean LSU, but we have seen LSU in this position, guys, year after year after year. 4 straight season openers you have lost. And we saw guys last year. I mean, think about it. If you beat Florida State and that season opener, and Florida State was very, very good. So there was no shame in losing that one. But you could have won if you had a defense with a pulse. And guess what, guys? You win that one. Who knows? That could have sparked you to a run to the college football playoff. Never know. But if you lose to Southern Cal, guys, out the gate, there are huge SEC games on this schedule. Make no mistake. Ole Miss is massive. Bama's massive. Oklahoma's massive. At Texas A&M. At South Carolina to set the tone, and SEC plays a big game. But I'm telling you, coming out the gate, LSU has to find a way to stop these season opener woes. They have to find a way to get off on the right foot. If you're going to have any shot at reaching your goal this season, your ultimate goal, which is making the 12-team college football playoff, the season opener is a must-win. It's a game you have to have, and it is the most important game of LSU's 2024 season. So, guys, when you look at this schedule, what are your thoughts? What's the most important game for LSU? Do you agree with me? Do you think it's that season opener against Southern Cal as LSU tries to win their first season opener since 2019? Or is it one of the big-time SEC matchups against Ole Miss, against Alabama, against Oklahoma? What do you deem as the most important game of LSU's 2024 season? Guys, that's going to do all for me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Again, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, guys, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we'll catch you on the other side.